Swinging a drive. Get up, he's done it again. A two-run shot in the first.
Hey, welcome back. Blue Jays are not hitting. This is clear at this point. We're minus a million uh, runs scored, so we're not hitting, and we got to figure out what changes that. So we got two approaches: coaching changes or player utilization changes. That's the only thing you can do from the outside, other than the players just getting better themselves. So we decided that we were going to dive in because I started talking about firing Guillermo Martinez last year, and I was going to dive into all the data and find a reason that we should fire this guy. And what I found was that in the years he hired in 2018, in the years that he's been here since, our hitting statistics have been just as on an average. It's a little up, a little down, depending on the season. So the smoking gun evidence that thought I was going to find to fire him in the numbers, it's not there. It kind of tells me that coaching professional players is a little different than, say, coaching like a minor leaguer. That's when the coaching of the fundamentals matters the most. In the big leagues, I think sometimes maybe you can have maybe there's too many voices, there's too many different mechanics. Guys are saying you should look at this mechanic, you should look at this mechanic, because the numbers do not say
way too much information.
We are not down. This is the only down power season that we've had under Martinez. Our slugging, our OPS, they're down. Obviously, we're hitting under 200 with runners in scoring position so far. That's down. But all the other seasons, we're within the average of what we were before. And I guess that's the evidence that to me I thought was going to be fire this guy, says it's not him. So what is it? How do you change this? How do you drum up the extra offense?
I think you kind of hit on it a little bit in the too many voices. I think there's way too many voices in the offensive side of the Jays, because what did we see? There's a hitting coach, two assistant hitting coaches, and Don Mattingly on the bench all the time as part of the coaching staff.
Plus, then you have the Encarnacions and the Victor Martinez's.
Victor Martinez, like these guys that aren't technically coaches, they're consultants or whatever that are around all the time and like in guys' ears. I don't think any of that helps. I think you need to have like one solid voice for a guy, not have a bunch of things. I also think the information that they get from all the pitch track and all that sort of stuff is overwhelming some of these guys as well. Like, I think Vladdy needs to go back up there and be more of a see ball, hit ball kind of guy and stop thinking about it so much and just take those massive hacks at balls down the middle like he used to. Yeah. I think that's a big thing for him. So I don't know. Maybe it is still the hitting coach's problem. He's not unifying everybody in that regard and getting them all to say the same thing. But I think, too many cooks in the kitchen. And it makes it really hard for players to have a clear path, a clear direction as to what's going on.
Well, and like you see, who did Varsho work with in the summer to get better this year?
Work
with his dad. Who did Bichette work with before? Dante Bichette. Yeah. Exactly. So we've got these guys in the off season that are working with people away from the team or on their own. They're getting better. And then you come to the team and something's going on from the time they come in to the time the games start. Within the team coaching structure, they're becoming worse. Yeah. It's with young players and the aging players as well. So I think that you're right.
Except let's say Justin Turner, who's the oldest player and hitting the best.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean, right? Like
right?
the decline is amongst, it doesn't matter whether you're young or old. There's
Yeah,
young players that are declining, there's older
yeah,
players that are
it's
declining.
everybody.
And so my worry, and maybe these guys are going to get to Justin Turner pretty soon too, right?
Well,
He's kind of set in his ways,
as
hopefully.
long as he's laying off that high fastball, he seems to be doing just fine.
Yeah. So we'll see. I really like. I mean, maybe you fire him just to to light a fire. You
Well, so
get a
that's it.
spark, right? Like that's the only reason now to me. There's no numbers reason to fire Martinez, um, other than that this is an outlier so far this year for low
Yeah,
performance.
you hope in some way it's a unifier for the team to like bring them together and go on some sort of, like you said, like 8 or 10 game like heater and just win a bunch and get themselves back into the playoff discussion. Because right now, they're not. They're
No,
not
no, we're
in the
not.
playoff discussion. They're not a contending team.
Yeah, the window's
We've
not
got
open right now.
outstanding pitching,
Yeah.
but we're not making the playoffs this year at this rate.
Oh, something massive has to change if we're thinking we're going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
So that's very clear, and it has to happen soon. We're almost at the quarter pole for the season, and you kind of know what sort of team you have quarter of the way through the season. You just do.
Yeah.
So when we get
They're
there,
all
it's
at their
7
100 at
games.
bats and stuff or whatever too, right? Like that's another
Yep,
kind of measure. And
yep. You have to like something would have to go crazy. Vladdy would have to go on like a crazy good streak to have to hit in the high 200s.
they're all gonna have to go on a crazy streak,
Yeah,
like together,
yeah,
not just
yeah,
not just Vladdy, and then Bo, and then Springer. We need everybody to hit at once for a month and a half,
yeah.
and climb back out of the. I know we're not at the bottom of the division, but like you know,
Feels like it.
we're not in contention right now, and
Yeah,
we need to climb back into contention.
we're closer to being at the bottom of the division than the top by a long
That
way.
that is
So,
very true,
and right
guys.
now, if you want to compare where we are, our run differential, we're more like the White Sox and some of the other
Yep.
teams that are struggling this year so far. So, I want to rah our team
Yeah.
here,
No,
but
there's no
they're not giving us a lot to work with.
rah-rah in this team.
Yeah.
Not right now.
So there's no getting to there's no quick solution to changing the offense. The offense has to it is a mental thing maybe. It something has to change there, right? And
Something has to change.
you like maybe the like you actually pointed this out earlier. Maybe it's the mental performance coach. I mean, they would be a
Like this
very
is yeah,
unsexy. That's an unsexy firing because that's not
that's the
a
thing.
position anybody sees, right? So it's like
Like when you're in this sort of like we're firing somebody to make a point, it's
yeah,
got to be hitting coach, pitching coach, manager,
yeah,
right? Like those are the only three options to give and make a point with,
yeah, yeah.
right? Like it's not like firing your assistant bullpen coach is going to make a lick of difference to anybody. But
Yeah, 100%.
so, like firing, what's his name there? I just said it like a million times, so I've lost that page. Um, Lenan,
Right. Yeah.
the mental coach for the Jays there. What's the point? What's the point? It does nothing. It's not going to spark any like unity amongst the team to do better or something
Salvage
like
the
that.
season. Yeah.
It's yeah, galvanize them or something against the head office to win. Like it's just that's not it, right? So
Well, I don't know how
firing
big.
firing Martinez might do it. I don't think that's it either. I don't think a firing of any kind is going to get these guys going really. Like it's you see some of them out there working hard like every day, like they want to be there and want to win, and then you see other guys that just like defeated already.
Like,
Bo,
yeah, I was gonna say Bo. Bo looks
he's never
looks
struggled like this before,
he looks unhappy right now. I
so
have
he's
like,
struggling.
yeah,
He's struggling in his head and at the plate, right? He's playing pretty good defense, which is good.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and then Springer,
yeah.
Springer again, also playing good defense. He always will, I think. Like he goes 120% out there every time. That catch in like right center the other
Yeah.
night when he like fully Superman towards the track was awesome.
Yeah.
But like he's not a leadoff guy. So
Yeah.
that might have a huge thing to do with what's going on. Like
I have been
we're
saying this
not
actually.
setting the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been saying it for a while.
Yeah. It's, you know what? If Ernie Clement is in the lineup, he's the leadoff guy.
He should.
I'm sorry,
be.
he is. And you want to, if Springer's
Because
in the
he's
lineup,
kind of guy.
Springer's 9. Springer's this the 9th guy. They say he's another leadoff guy, sort of. So like now he's your second leadoff guy.
Even like 8 or 9.
Whatever.
Like,
Yeah.
the lineup's not doing it.
Oh.
So it's firing a manager, firing a coach.
Well, so
the change will be
Schneider
good
talked
probably
about
either
this.
way, but
Schneider talked about this the other day. He said like the guys are staying where they are. I'm not panicking. They're going to figure it out. All of this stuff. Your job as a manager is to get the play out of your players. So you put them in the positions to succeed, and if they are not succeeding, you change it up. And guys that are earning it, guys that are going out there every day and having this, getting the hits, have to get the shot to have the better role. You can't just come to the ballpark every day.
I mean,
and be like, I'm hitting
like
first.
if we want to talk about firing John Schneider, I got a million reasons to throw out to fire John Schneider right now.
Well, maybe that's the firing, right?
So maybe that's the firing that needs to happen. And then you bring in like Don Mattingly as your interim manager for the rest.
Got DeMarlo Hale on the bench. He's just sitting there waiting quietly.
He's sitting there.
We're grumpy Blue Jays fans right now.
We're a little disgruntled right now for sure. Like losing sucks. Losing to like Kansas City is much better this year than they have been, but still losing to Kansas City feels like losing 2 games at once.
Well, especially when like every guy,
especially when your pitcher is dealing.
Kyle Isbell has 3 home runs this year, and 2 of them are against the Blue Jays.
Oh, it was worse than that. It was like he has 6 extra base hits, and 4 of them are against the Blue Jays, and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, like the only
what is going on here?
Like we said in the previous one. Something wrong with your baseball team?
Oh, yeah,
in the dumps, play the Blue Jays.
Kansas City has a considerably better record than the Blue Jays right now, so that's not quite the situation here. But
Kansas City is better than the Blue Jays. It's easy to say. Baltimore Orioles are better than the Blue Jays. That's just true right now.
But the fact that the Boston Red Sox are better than the Blue Jays.
The Boston Red Sox are better than the Blue Jays. We have to eat it. We have to eat that until they change it, right?
I highly dislike the taste of that.
It's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to leave it there. That was quite the talk. So hopefully things can turn around in the near future. But if you took anything from our video, please take the time to smash the like button and definitely subscribe to this channel. We are...
Let's go, Jays. We're going to Washington. Let's turn things around.
We're going to Washington. We're going to figure this out. And the season is
nobody's watching the game on Friday because it's on Apple TV. So maybe they'll win.
Perfect. Start of a streak. Okay.
Yeah.
Leave it there.
Go Jays.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Peace.